Welcome to APL Spotlight Series, Episode 2. We are recording with Lily Sanders out of New York. Thank you so much, Lily, for being on this new spinoff from the APL show.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
You have an amazing background. You've been on the show before. I'm going to encourage people to go back towards the beginning of the APL show in the beginning of 2023. You're there. People can hear your origin story. And just to help people, though, understand your background, you've been an actress. I forget if it was One Life to Live or As the World Turns.
One Life to Live.
One Life to Live. Professional dancer, author. Your book, Tru Triumph, multi-award winning. It's a spiritual guide to finding your truth. Recommend picking that up. It's always sitting on my shelf. There's an empty spot right there. People can see. You're a manifestation coach. You've been in one of those magazines where you were picked like top 5 in New York City and so on. But you help people also understand the dynamics around abuse, domestic violence. You basically raise awareness, and you've been all over the media, not just in the tri-state area. You've been on like CBS, NBC, Fox News, Newsmax, iHeartRadio, and so on. And you've spoken at universities, again, to raise awareness surrounding the issues of domestic violence, abuse, how to walk a smoother path for all of us, because it affects more people than we would ever realize. You also are a show host beyond the current situation. You've about 40 episodes out, but you've been doing this 6 years. And it's available all over the globe via like Spotify, Amazon, the other usual suspects, and so on. And you've been kind enough to have me on in the past, and I may be on again, I believe, in 2024 sometime or before then. So thank you again for all the opportunities we've had together. Lily, let's do this. Let's go big picture, because this is hard for some folks to grasp, is that it's not a linear life path. You know, we've got our ebbs and flows. We've got our people that we think stuff's happened to us. We've got relationships that are damaged, or we've got baggage. Is there a bigger picture that's smoother, happier, somehow fluffier? Do angels exist? Is there a possibility for allowing a little more assistance from the universe to come in?
Yeah, it's a good question. And before I answer that, let's talk about even timing. Like you and I actually met around 6 years ago, Michael. But I started my podcast 3 years ago. Not that it matters, the timing, because timing is so relative for all of us. You know, a week, like a long time for someone could be 10 years or 100 years. For me, it's like, it's been like a blink, right? And when it comes to the subject of, do angels exist? What shows up for me is, do they not exist? I mean, like, how would you even, like, for me, every day, it's not that it's something, and I differ from the next person and the next person and the next person. I can't say that I specifically, every moment of the day, am even cognizant of an angel or the essence of an angel. However, I'm always in the essence of allowing. The heart allows, right? Which also really aligns with even the essence of my book, is that the heart allows. And what is it allowing? It's allowing love. And I'm open to anything that is going to guide me and bring me closer to creation, love. And I know that I'm made up of love. I know that that comes from creation. And whether people believe that or not, it doesn't really matter. I just know that in my walk and with my experiences, that there have been those possibly unrecognizable angels in my life. I even talk about a little bit in the book that you just held up. There's a section called Angels in the Hood. Just people that come into your life for a season and then they vanish. And even just to question, is it an angel? Was that person really in the human body? Do angels exist? And I would put to you, if it brings something positive to your life, and it really leverages you to a better space in your life, then why even question it?
I like it. Okay, compassion, love, kindness, gentleness. We could all use a little bit more of that as well. How do you approach this topic to just, I don't know, allow for more again? You said the heart is ready to go. It's love. It's the vehicle for allowing more. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that's a long explanation. The truncated version would be compassion is something that we do have to practice. It's not innate. You know, and I know, everyone here listening today knows that everyone does not exercise compassion. And it's something that we do have to practice. We learn how to become more compassionate. And that begins first with compassion for yourself. And what I found is that a lot of people that I've worked with and people that I coach today, that seems to be a really hard thing, right? Like to find compassion for yourself. You know, we're always doing for others, caring for others. We can feel empathy for someone else before ourselves. There's a lot of self-judgment that goes on, right? Even if it's unconscious. But the point is, if you are in that space, if that is something that you really struggle with as far as self-compassion, a really good way to get yourself aligned and in balance with compassion for yourself so that you can have compassion for others is actually to start leaning in on compassion for others. There's something I call collective compassion. And that's something as simple as, like, even these times today, there's a war in Israel as we speak, right? We don't know those people physically that are in Israel. We're not there physically experiencing that. But from a heart of compassion, we can feel from a distance. We can feel for someone that is going through something even we're not experiencing. And we can send that energy of compassion. And that's what I call shared compassion, which is really ultimately collective compassion. And in that sharing of compassion for someone that you don't know, for a country that you don't live in, for a culture that you don't understand, in turn, that energy is now put out there. And so that energy will also be something that you're creating that space around your life here, like your immediate area and environment, and bringing in that compassion for self.
In 12 years of doing this and working with probably a few thousand folks, helping them just let go, be in their heart, see, hear, experience more, I'd say one big conclusion I've had here that's tied into this is what you allow for is what you allow for. I had the other two, and of course, I'm always a blank. But what you allow for, where you put your focus is where you put your focus.
No doubt.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, and so in each moment, whether you know it or not, consciousness, unconsciousness, it's kind of like a barometer or one of those musical ticker things, altimeter, whatever that thing's called, that goes back and forth.
A
The point
barometer.
is, yeah, each moment is an opportunity though for slowing down, paying more attention, and then it gets easier after that, because if you do get into the slipstream of love, and I said this before the show, I think it was Mary said, love is in everything, everything. And there's a million reasons why this doesn't have to make sense, or logic, or reason, or society, or this group, that group, or this evidence-based science stuff over there says this isn't possible. But just love is in everything. She said, open your eyes to see love. And I love that, because it challenges. It's the same thing with the statement from angels of, you can be happy now in this very moment for no reason whatsoever. And good luck with that. All moments can be the same too. And then I had a non-duality teacher whose show is coming up, who said there are no moments. And I was like, whoa. So it's not about the words so much. There's something that beyond the words that you can tap into more that you've already tapped into a million times. Concerts, having fun, playing in a sandbox when you're a kid, being at the beach, swimming. There's a million things, but you give it like no significant level of importance. You don't
Mm.
realize that those little moments are everything. And then if you
Yeah.
get back to the basics and slow down, you tap right back into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about presence, right? And it's not so much to me that you know, it's not so much that there's no moments. It's that even the moment ends. But that's the beauty of it. So you're not trapped in it.
Hmm.
You know, there's going to be positive and negative in different moments of different seasons in different times of your life. But the fact that even the moment ends, it really proves that it, now keeps ending. And then it's the next now and the next now, if that makes any sense. So that you're not, you can look forward to, um, not even look forward to, but so you can be in that moment and know that the next moment brings something else and something else. And, that look, it's human evolution, man. That's why we're here, right? And the question is, are we going to evolve through love and by love and as love? Or are we never going to grow? Because if we're not living in love, if we're not exercising that, then we don't grow. And many of us leave this earth without having understood that. And that's fine. That's everyone's journey to to walk. It's funny because I'm in this group, and there's is a couple of people in the group, particularly one, and I say this without judgment, but he really does not like the word journey.
Hmm.
And yeah, I find it really interesting because it is a journey. This is a journey. Call it what you will, but you could look up the word and think of different ways to say it. A way of going, a route, a path, a street, whatever that may be. But the thing is, every single step on that journey is a moment, and every single step is your opportunity, to your point, to grow and to expand, right?
I was trying to find a Twitter quote that it's it's something like love is what allows us to appreciate all the contrast here that we experience on our path. We don't realize that a lot of the stuff that we'll reject, judge precluding, the possibility of the type of judging that limits possibility. That's a lot of our judging, whether we know it or not. We get stuck in right or wrong, and we become more rigid and more limiting than we ever realize. How about I blow us some sage? And we do this on every type of show imaginable, whether it's panels, the regular APL show, which is weekly. This one is more spontaneous, and we're about to get more spontaneous with photos of angels. This is something where the audience can participate on any of it. And I forget to say the one rule I've got in 12 years. I mean, pen and paper is really nice to have handy. It's just setting your intent, giving yourself permission to let go. So I always suggest addressing angels directly, no matter which type of belief system you have. If you don't mind just being like, hey, angels, get me out of my head, into my heart, help me let go. I'd love to smell the scent of sage. I'm going to light it and blow it. And
Mm-hmm.
so Lorna Byrne got hit 2,000 plus views, the most popular episode this year out of 50 in 2023, and we're booked into March. We've got Leanne Whitney coming on, Australian actor, Ian Stenlake, Ariel Ford, Jennifer McLean, lots of fun folks. Everybody's contributing something to the rest of us, in addition to doing their own journey. As Lily was just suggesting, we're all on our own path, learning as we go. A little bit of sage. People can ask for an extra flower scent. Lorna never smelled the sage in Ireland. She smelled roses and daisies, and that was super cool. And Jennifer McLean, who's been around 35 years helping people by the probably millions, caught sage and 3 different types of flowers. You're going to have to watch her episode to remember the flowers. I don't remember the flowers. I'm the guy who it goes in one ear, out the other. I got to hear stuff 1,000 times to learn my lesson. Lily, what are you getting? We did this before the show, so we know we're in tune and getting it done. I haven't struck out yet, but that's also with a little bit of practice, just to let the audience know. We're not too cocky here, but it does work. So give yourself a break, go hug a tree, touch water, rub your hands in a circle, don't make a fire, pet your dog, get a slobbery kiss till you're laughing from the dog, then come back and do this, play it over and over. But allow for the smoke, no time and space, to reach you. Maybe tomorrow in the shower that you're like, what the heck? What will you allow for is the crux of the entire hypothesis for life, your life. You got a unique life path. What will you allow for? You know, most of us, me included, everyone, with our thinking, not much. We're thinking. We're not living. We're not loving. We're up here. And it's a shocker. There's casino gambling going on up in the big casino. Okay, here's that sage again, red-tailed hawk feather. Lily, what are you getting there in New York?
A little sandalwood.
Nice. And if you want to look around your room and catch a little bit of sparkle or just feel a wind, pick your favorite beach, ask angels to just make it nice. It's like you walk into a sushi restaurant. New York City people are going to know this. You got to know the owner, the chef, the maitre d'. You're kind of a regular there. You can just yell to Frank or whatever the name is, make it nice. You get it off menu. They just charge you $50. I know it's gotten expensive to eat in New York. That's probably not even going to cover it these days. But you yell, make it nice, then they bring you round after round and you just pay the tab. That's it. No menu. So you don't have to know the details. You don't have to know it, feel it, to be sure of anything. Just trust that when you say make it nice, you're heard. What else did you get around you? Hand on the shoulder. You can close your eyes right now and ask for chef's surprise. Let the angels be the chefs. We're not used to surrendering control moment to moment. And by the way, you're going to get it all right back. Angels are not here to interfere unless you say, hey, I need some help, or I just need a little pick-me-up. So you can have tiramisu in this moment, no calories. Exactly. What do you get, Lily?
I just a wish, like a whoosh.
Whoosh, yeah.
A
Good.
whoosh. Doesn't sound like much, but it's my whoosh, so I can have it.
It's your whoosh. You can have your whoosh and share it too. Here's Joy, the very first angel people usually meet. She's the emotion Joy, but she's also like the ambassador communicator. So if you're the type who's like, I'm not sure about all this, just let her shoulder it all. You don't have to know much except how to ask. And that's hard for a lot of us. As a kid, we had no problem doing the highway robbery thing and asking everybody for everything and having a lot of fun. But we started adulting at some point. Our stuff happened to us. We got off balance, and then we really started adulting. So this is just let her do her job. I love guilting Americans with that phrase. Get out of your own way. Get out of her way. Let her do her job. You got a giant catcher's mitt. Put it on. Play baseball even if you don't watch the sport. Receive, 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 all with a capital A. So if you want to ask a private question, hey, what do I need to know for the rest of the year? But get a couple hugs. And if you don't mind describing any sort of energy transaction with her, I'm going to go quiet here and let you actually appreciate the moment.
I'm definitely feeling like a vibration in my chest and something emphasizing in my ears.
And let's go back to your acting, dancing days. Ask her, if you don't mind, you don't have to share it out loud. What was one of her favorite performances by you that even to this day you chuckle about because either you delivered the line or the dance move or it was the performance? And it could have been all the way back to third grade, Swan Lake, and you were the fifth swan, or the 12 Days of Christmas, or whatever it was. First grade. How far back do you go? I think I had one of those in kindergarten. I think I was a swan. Okay, but she's going to know immediately something somewhere that they're like, oh, we love that. It was beautiful. What'd you get?
Owl and the Pussycat. I played Doris in a way off Broadway production. Kind of the beginning of my theater days as a professional.
And why don't we do this? Since not everyone does theater and gets the opportunity to, I mean, because that takes exploration. That takes guts. It's so much rejection. It takes the development of even more confidence than we thought was humanly possible. But here are a couple themes from her
Mhm.
that have permeated all those experiences that have brought you some wonderful human experiences. And what can you share with us?
Yeah, well, one of the themes, and I keep photos, 3 photos of her. One of them I've have framed in my office upstairs. Um, you and I have talked about, you have brought this angel, a picture of this angel to me. And um, we laughed about that about 6 years ago because I had all these photos of her, and she's always with me for like the last 20 years, and that's Audrey Hepburn.
Mm. And of course, I had her ready to go just by chance.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And people can allow for, like, if we can get away from linear, you're going to live linear. You think the
Mhm.
casinos operate a certain way. You look at your poker hand or your whatever card game happens in a casino, but you look at your hand, and generally twos and threes and fours and fives are considered low value cards. That's all the stuff that happened to you, your situation, what you think you're lacking or unhappy about. But
Mhm.
your twos in reality are aces. Everything's an ace. It's everything is love. Open your eyes to see love. So what I'm trying to say is, let this be a metaphor. We know that photos cannot move. I'm using an iPhone through a screen to another screen in New York, and Lily's looking at a photo of Audrey Hepburn, who's an angel. Let her wink, smile, shoulder waggle, the nose moves, the eyebrow goes up, hands move. Hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people have let her do her job. And so for a split second, and this is the best introduction to your own multiple flows of energy. The stove top is the brain, hot stove, we learn, maybe it's not the best thing. And the heart, which is just joy, fun, possibility, appreciation, allowing, attitude, many more other concepts, higher vibration. This photo moving
Mhm.
is a metaphor for everything else in life. And if you have a reaction where you're like, oh, I didn't just see that, but then your heart says, oh my God, I just saw her smile, there's the duality that everyone goes through in life. How can you be so filled with hate or rejection or worry or fear or stress one moment and be so enamored with your pooch, your cousin, the little kid, your sister's baby that you adore to death? And you've got all these flows through you, energies of all different types. So if you want to have Audrey deliver a reminder for us all, just ask her and share it, Lily.
I mean, I hear loud and clear her telling me and you and everyone, you all listening, is you can do anything you want to do. That's what I hear loud and clear in her voice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in her very, very eloquent way of speaking.
And you don't have to have her photo. So if folks out there
Right.
right now want to ask for a particular beach smell, if you're in New Jersey, ask for California. If you're in California, ask for the Seychelles. If you're in the Seychelles, ask for South Africa. You get the idea. Go for something where if it happens, you're like, oh my God, what do I do with this? And then for the next 3 days, watch your brain go in circles because you're like, I have only been to the Seychelles once. I just smelled it. Or South Africa, that one time I tipped the cow when I was 13. But we all have a place somewhere that we think is magical. You don't have to wait to go there. You don't have to wait to live your life on vacations. You can start now. And it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter whether you're 80 years old, you're 25, you're 45. And this Mack truck in life hit me. This Mack truck, it looks like it's coming. We're all stepping off a curb, getting hit by something. It's how you allow, and you can ask angels to come in. So ask her to come into your ball of light
Okay.
and support you to do anything that you think is more difficult, to carry or shoulder your load. If you're a tennis player, ask her to jump in your arm. I hit a couple winners once when I did that. There's no limits. We just don't know how to ask. We don't know how to allow. We don't even know all the possibility. Running, ask for her to be in your legs. Gardening, You're sore from yesterday, ask for healing in your muscles. So without a photo at all, ask Audrey to come in and bring you something, either more advice, a smell, music, angels singing, say chef's surprise. I'm stuck on that phrase today. And what do you get from Audrey out of the blue? You don't have to have a photo. There's no structure.
Yeah. So, I've been working on something career-wise, which has been like my one thing, my one mission before I leave this earth. And I just started working on it. And so, um, and I do put my feelers out for, again, back to allowing to any unexplainable being, angel, creator. For me, I have no problem using God. And I do think, and I do always feel like Audrey Hepburn as one of my angels here. Anywhere that I have resided in my life in the past, oh, uh, 11 years. And so in that moment, I I heard her loud and clear. Yes, that's the software you want to use.
I'll put up another angel. She's a bit older, named Charlotte. She's everybody's favorite school teacher. You remember, this is the one that
Mm-hmm.
you liked, whether it was
Mm-hmm.
you're in Canada, third form, or third grade, and you're in Kansas, and it was in the 70s or the 60s or the 80s. But Mrs. Wilson, whoever you thought was the nicest, that's her. She's been around the block.
Mm.
If you like ancient Egypt, it's her. You can ask her to bring you a incense smell from ancient Egypt that we would never be able to replicate or appreciate. You can ask for just a floral smell from 6 summers ago that you know you're not getting back to Idaho anytime soon. But your life path is known. You're not getting judged. Angels can alter your path. We're not really used to just going with the no limits thing. Otherwise, we'd be having a blast all the time. And some people have figured it out. Some people are just naturally joyous, curious, pushing the limits in a happy, easygoing way. They're not jumping out of an airplane every day trying to defy death. But so there's something to this about living more, allowing more, loving more. If we can have Charlotte just kick in with you, Lily, on this theme of, allowing more, loving more, living more. What'd you get?
Just, well, not just, but a confirmation to see no limitations and just keep doing what I'm doing.
Cool. Why don't you close your eyes? And if it's something concerning a project and you wanted to get a picture painted, let's say it's a scene or a dynamic, close your eyes and get something personal, either for a project or just get a pleasant view from a mountaintop, a river. Let her
Yeah.
bring you a vision with your eyes shut. It could be practical and tactical for projects, or it could be just a generic thing to kind of uplift.
Yeah. Well, just so I'm clear, it was specifically on what I'm working on
Oh,
that
good.
project.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Just, just confirming that I don't have any limitations and confirming that I'm on the right path and confirming that this is divine timing for me for this specific project.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And here, why don't you
Feels great.
ask for a mantra? You don't have to share that out loud, but get it and
Okay.
say it with her a couple times. That's just fun. It's going to be probably very short and sweet, but it's reassuring because, our brain kicks up. Even when I go running every day for 41 years since I was 14, there are days that I'm like looking at my shoes and I'm like, but I still put them on sometimes and I'm going out. Or once in a while, I'll turn around early, or once in a while, I'll be like, gosh, I actually want to keep going. Who knows?
Mm.
It's the music sometimes. It's that we have a lot of hills here.
Can I write it down?
Yeah,
What I
please,
heard?
please, please write it down. And if it's something you want to share and it's super easy and it's not too personal, I'm always trying to, I don't want people to have to share everything. But if it's something
Hmm.
you can share out loud, share it out loud. Maybe it's going to help somebody listening.
I might share this another time
Share it another time. Okay.
and enjoy the affirmation for my current work.
Geronimo, I'm going to put the younger Geronimo in now. He's so much easier to connect with than angels. Very down to earth. Duh. Unconditional love, spirit guide, action, action. Did I mention action? Like a wily Zen master. Not formal. Yeah, nah. Duh. You already know the answer. But he'll give you a mantra. Geronimo, if anyone's just visually watching, he'll give you a quick mantra that you could share out loud. He's no nonsense, funny. He steals the show, to be honest. What'd you get?
Oh.
Curse words involved. You can't say it out loud.
You can, silly Lily.
Oh my God. That made you laugh. That was good. You weren't expecting that.
No, I wasn't. You know, that is, and that picture is, you know, it's very, very uplifting to see a picture of someone like that, you know, an image of what most of us would suppose an angel looks like. So when I see those images of the Indians, it's uplifting.
He knows everyone's business. He's here to help people be that inner fearless, peaceful warrior and to walk a smoother path, or sometimes just take the action they need to take to get living again.
Mm-hmm.
I think his best metaphor I've ever heard, he told somebody to get on the horse and ride, 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 ride. Don't look left, don't look right, and don't look back. And I always thought that was pretty poignant. It was weeks later that I thought about it on a run, and I'm like, wow, that horse might be your heart. Get into your heart. Stop looking back or dwelling on the most of the time details you can let go. So for everybody out there watching, I'm not kidding when I say, you know, there's Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Sai Baba, now Steve Jobs, Mandela, MLK, Einstein, Gandhi, figures from India, the big ones, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Mayor Baba, Lakshmi, goes on and on and on. Native American chiefs, light beings, Seth, Zoroaster, you name it. But he still steals the show. He's down to earth. You have no privacy. You're not getting judged. But do you have the gut? It takes guts. You deserve a town monument if you're willing to even consider any of this. Most of us have to be in a real pinch, tight situation, or in so much pain, suffering. This happened to me. That happened to me. I'm this, the illness. Before you're going to get to a point where you get out of your brain, ask for help, and you're like, I want to move on. And so it's what Einstein said. You can talk to him. The consciousness that says my problem isn't the same consciousness that allows you to get past the situation. There's some shift that has to happen. You have to be more here to move forward. And by the way, on to the next dilemma. It happened eventually. It's ebb and flow in life. Welcome to being human. But here's the older Geronimo. And Lily, if you want to take the topic, ask him and share out loud. He is such a kitten in the heart, even though he's a tiger. He's such a softie to me in terms of he cares so much about everyone. But he's fierce. He's a warrior. What are you getting as a reminder for us all?
Go to the light.
Not literally like die this second and go, but
Correct.
Trust in light, consciousness, help.
Actually become more light.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're all light. If many of us aren't light yet, maybe some of us feel dark, but the goal is to be light, and for me, become more light and just keep becoming more light. Yeah. And that same concept or idea to fuel me through my project by just going through light.
And you're very focused on that, and you're dedicating yourself diligently to this.
Oh, I'm so committed. Yeah.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
it. Okay, so the pandemic happened and I need stuff spelled out for me. I think like all of us do. I've got to hear stuff 1,000 times. Like it's the real Geronimo, it's really angels. I didn't know. I'm not kidding. When I first met the three chiefs, and they're pictures on a wall, and they've been hanging over my bed since I was 2. My dad died in 1970, died off the coast of Italy. Oceana he was off the aircraft carrier Roosevelt. They put him into Arlington in 1998. No body recovered. But back in
Oh,
1970,
wow.
a woman walked 3 pictures of these 3 Native American chiefs to my mom after the military sedan pulled away. And it's very unusual. Military sedan pulls away. My mom's probably 24 and got the news. My dad's just turned 26. It was his time to go. And she handed over these 3 beautiful drawings right there on the wall. So they've been in my office as an adult, not as an adult hanging over my bed. But here's Dull Knife.
Mm.
And it's done by the guy who did Mad Magazine. Jack Davis did 16, 15, 14,000 drawings before computers existed. Dull Knife's
Wow.
wisdom with some humor. And then Red Shirt's the gentlest mom in the world. Compassion, Lakota Sioux Chief, Red Shirt. And I have historical photos for these guys. I'll put them up in just a second. There's Red Shirt, for example, right there. U.S. Presidential Medal. Was at the White House with Geronimo the next day after the photo was taken. He's compassionate. He's like the gentlest mom in the world. There's Dull Knife. And there's his real historical look. It's like a mountain range, wisdom. And now here's Geronimo. And again, Geronimo has a way. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can see a little bit of damage here on my picture. It got restored. But go ahead and ask Geronimo a private question, get an answer. But anything you can share out loud from him to us.
Okay.
So for a couple weeks, maybe 12 years ago, I tried to play psychic. I had no boundaries. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm spending all my energy. I got really tired. I had a dinner party. I didn't want to do any more work, though. I heard circle the wagons and just kind of hunker down. I didn't cancel the dinner party, but I knew this one woman was going to come and ask a question somehow. And I heard a little voice. I hadn't met any angels, taken any photos. The chief's drawings hadn't come alive yet. Even when they did come alive and my older friends were doing it, chatting with them on the wall, took me 6 months for somehow I'm always somewhere else and I got to be brought back to reality for 6 months. I mean, later I'm like, I didn't know they were the real Dull Knife Red Shirt Geronimo. What was I thinking? I can't tell you. I'm slow. So everyone watching, please take heart. You've got better skills than all of us combined. You just don't know it. That's all. Trust me. So the dinner party, she comes and sure enough, she asked me a question. And sure enough, like I hear punt, send her to the one of the 4 bedrooms upstairs with the chiefs on the wall, these drawings. And I said to her in front of everyone, don't come back till you get all your answers. And no one's ever done this. I haven't taken any photos of angels. Go check those out on the website, michaelandreford.com. I used to hand the camera to folks. You can just see directly out your window. If you're gutsy, have Audrey Hepburn have a cup of tea with you. You got to be gutsy. You had to have survived stage 9 cancer practically yesterday to be able to just have a cup of tea with an angel physically. They ring your doorbell and they come and have a cup of tea. But you can do that. So bookmark that, please. So she goes up. She's gone for 45 minutes. She comes back down and she's just got a whole different demeanor about her. Smiling, happy, eyes sparkly. She's like, those guys were wonderful. And I hid my jaw dropping because I hadn't met any of them yet. They've been over my bed my whole lifetime. And I'm like, whoa, something just happened. And I was like, note to self, I need to meet these guys. And, I'm incredibly slow about this stuff. So the point is, she got her answers. People at the table a lot of them were like the musician, older Austin original crowd type who were like the hippie Woodstock. They're adults. They somehow know spirituality or love or the universe is really big. They're very chill. I'm like, I spent 20 years in New York. I've moved around a lot. I talk fast, walk fast, eat fast, run a lot. So somehow that all just happened. And, no one got up from the table and said, what the heck's going on here? That would have been me. So long story short, that was the beginning of the rabbit hole. I'm just inviting folks to allow for more possibility, more openness. You have an invisible cheerleading squad. Who's your favorite member of your cheerleading squad? And if you need help, just ask for like Charlotte, Joy, and even Dull Knife to support you right now. So there's a little bit of a fight among your crew to get to pole position and be selected as your biggest cheerleader. Good luck with this. Everyone has loved ones, relatives, people maybe from other lifetimes as well that just are there. Maybe you just know him as the Egyptian guy or the guy from the Middle East or the guy, you know, who's just like an uncle, but you don't know from this lifetime. Then there's angels, there's other loving guides, sometimes spirit animals. Do you have a favorite or anyone that's jumped out, or did you get reminded just now?
Oh yeah, I do. I have I was just talking to her yesterday in my car.
Hold on, out loud while you're driving because it
Yeah.
was poignant and you needed to get it out, and you're like, ah, what do I do?
Yes.
Oh,
Out
I love
loud.
that. I do that too. It just
Yeah.
depends where.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I could share that. Her name is Felicia, and she is a best gal of mine that suddenly died. There was an accident. And yeah, I talk with her all the time, actually. Not in a weird way, but in a knowing way. I know that's weird too, but
As if she was riding in the car with you, though, and you could bring a topic up and be like, what should I do? Or how do I approach this? Or what do you
yeah,
think?
like the essence of her spirit um is very, I could feel it, like it's very evident. I can feel it in the air in my car.
But go ahead and ask Joy to come in and hold your space. You don't have to do much here. But Lily, off to your left, put your hand out into the air. And then more like you're getting $50 directly 90 degrees out to the left. Like a stranger walks into your living room and yep, it's going to put 50 in, but off to your left, like over perpendicular. There
90
you go.
degrees.
Yeah,
Okay.
90
That
degrees.
90.
Yeah, that 90, the other left. Okay. So let Joy hold your space, breathe through your mouth. I always say unofficially, if you can breathe through your mouth 1 millimeter open, it's just an extra form of letting go. One time, I think last year, the year before, someone gave me grief for suggesting you breathe extra, but guess what? It works. So let go.
Well,
Let
yeah,
Joy hold your
emotions
space.
come in and out through the mouth as well. So I would imagine that that allows for anything in and out of the mouth. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, and you can hear from Joy if you need the encouragement, but let Felicia, opposite of by Felicia, let her come in and hold your hand or feel her warmth and even catch a perfume or a scent. It could have been the time you went to the beach together. It could be the perfume that you wouldn't remember her that, but catch something that's reassuring and that you're like, oh, she's here. There's a million ways for her to reach you. But now, what are you feeling interacting with? And let her do her thing. She's probably jumping around right now. Like, yes, I want in.
Yeah, she's my biggest cheerleader.
And what do you feel in your hand or in the air around you? Do you feel extra energy at all?
I feel like my fingers are doing this, like I'm like as if I'm holding her, but she's making sure she's in my hand.
Beautiful. I'll put my guardian angel up, actual silhouette. Just call her Min.
Okay.
Coda Sioux word for water. Min. Skip the rest. She's very Pacific princess, light waves of energy and water, professorial, gentle. What does she say about Felicia coming in?
Adhere.
And I heard just more love coming in, but
More love.
And get what you need personally or in general, or get a reminder out loud.
Okay.
Okay. So what's your pep? You help people, you know, bring in what they think they want, but you also help them get out of their own way and also then sort out what they actually want, because half the time what you think you want, it's more of a seeking, a chase to keep you away from your heart, and you got to sort that out first. So you have a foundation, you're breathing more, allowing more. You know, in big cities we get busy, but it doesn't take that. It could be just the relationship thing, and lots of other stuff takes us off our path. Our path is here. What's the spiel you try to remind people about, that it is slowing down to, you know, live more, love more, allow more?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'd use the word spiel.
Yeah.
But in my language, it's really just awareness. And what I mean by that is, for example, if I were to ask you, Michael Andre Ford, um, what is uh, what is the one thing that you're looking to to accomplish in the next 10 years? Just play with me on this one. You
Yeah,
could make something
I've
up.
got two answers. Help
Okay.
people meet their angels, which I rarely get to do because there's so many amazing figures up front that suck up the whole limelight, time, and attention. You can't really compete with Mother Teresa, Geronimo, and so on. But they should and could, and if they
Specific.
want, they can meet their guardian angel. They can meet a couple key angels, maybe a loved one. And then the other part is, and this for 8 years, I gave the service away. So I'd slip in, what does Michael do? What does Mike do for people as sort of a cab driver tip if I'm a cabbie?
Mhm.
But also to help them understand what I do. But in so asking and so them listening to chiefs or angels, Dull Knife once said he channels. And it took me the whole ride from Whole Foods headquarters in Austin, 17 miles to the northwest, where I lived in Austin. I got home and I was like, oh, I channel. Because at the beginning, I'm like, I channel? I don't even know what that means. And by the time I got home, I got comfortable with it. So what I'm getting at is one time, and I've got a lot of those answers on my website. I think the worst I've ever been given is by Geronimo. He cracks people open like a walnut. That's fun. It's funny. Haha. But the point is, I do angel introductions, but there was one, rid the world of hatred. Oof. That's a tall leap, and it was not my language. I wouldn't even have suggested ridding the world of hatred. But for some reason that stuck with me. And it's not like a battle extinction. I need to combat anything or anything like that. It's just, hey, if there could be a little more love and a little more pause. And I think like I would do the UFO, UAP disclosure crowd. They're chasing the US government. They're chasing all these other organizations. There's consciousness institutes. There's podcasts. There's people measuring sticks, and they want the evidence and the materials and the bodies, and they want aliens. But part of this crew that we're talking about with light beings is unconditional love. Light beings, you can meet them. When you go out for a bite to eat, you're coming back. They take you out for a bite. It's not sharks. These are light beings are like whales. Angels are like dolphins. Your relatives are like turtles. Hopefully I'm getting the metaphor right. Otters could be your pets. The point is, it's a giant, beautiful ocean of compassion. Swim more, get off the beach, have some fun, go water skiing if you want, let angels drive the boat, you're safe. And that same message for the UAP, UFO crowd is light beings. You can have any answer to any question, all dialects, all languages. If you're a scientist, you're into this, get your formula filled out. Once in a while, you get told to move on. But none of us as humans go, mankind, are really understanding that universal wisdom is here and now. We think it's through a FOIA request or NASA releasing something or acknowledging what's been going on for 80 years. Who knows what that is? And we think it's a film, or we think it's this, or we think it's that. And it's actually just inside you allowing more, and you can have wonderful connections to all there is. And that was a really long sideways answer, but somehow.
So what was the answer though? How do you want to, like, what is
Rid the
it that
world of
you want?
hatred. Only
Okay,
just
how?
being
Specific.
being
Give
at
me one
peace and trying to
specific
be
thing.
a non-word, non-structure example of presence. And that's the best I could say.
So
Is just
through what?
living and breathing in a peaceful way that others can pick up from a distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's more of uh and I like that, but that's more of like an internal thing you want to do, like a but
I don't see it accomplished
how?
by
Like through your
suggesting it through
podcast,
words to
through a book,
anyone.
something. Give me something that is something that you would gain. How what venue would you do that through? How would you help people?
Again, I'm going to answer it two ways, because 12 years I've been saying, hey, angels exist. Do you want to
Well,
listen?
hang on. You mentioned channeling. Would it be to be a channeler? Like I want you to be that specific.
I'm
This is gonna
channeling
help
or
your
holding
audience.
space all the time, whether I want to acknowledge it or not. So people can have that experience. I believe they can just do it on their own, but it takes a little bit of a, hey, tap person on the shoulder and be like, did you know you're fully capable? You got all these skills, use them, whether it's this lifetime or next, it's their choice. Free will is paramount.
So which is the one that you want to do that you're afraid to talk about?
Well, what would be really fun is for folks to do this in a big group. Maybe I used to say 750 or so folks, but now 1,000 or 2,000. Picture seeing your light. Maybe we'll do that in a little bit, where you see auras, you see your light coming off your fingers. Then you get answers from angels or chiefs or whoever your relatives. You get your answers, because good Americans want their answers for their situations. They, if you can have any answer, why wouldn't you want to do it? A lot of people, that's a carrot. They're going to ask about work. They're going to ask about their love life. They're going to ask about this, what to let go of, how to have more fun, how to make more money, whatever. But at the end of the event, I'd love to have an angel show up in actual human form up on stage or whatever we're talking about. There's a crowd, there's a stage. I'd love to do a theatrical door that's properly suspended so that it can't fall over and hurt somebody, but it's just a door and it does
That's
open and close. And at the end of this entire thing, I'd like to have a society in which it's not going to become a negative, but that the door opens, a figure walks out, amazing charisma. They chat for a little while. They go through the door, and 1/3 of the crowd's going to grab, like I would do, iPhone and go circle the damn door, because where did they go? No trap door. They didn't go up. They didn't go down. They just gone. And I think it's something where mankind needs a little bit of an assistance so we don't, as a globe, blow ourselves up or whatever could happen. But we're ready for more love, compassion, and a little less rat race, which isn't, I'm going to try to make you laugh. It isn't Chemical Bank or Chase Bank. Chemical Bank doesn't exist anymore in New York City, but it isn't the big businesses. It isn't the corporate structure. It isn't external. Our rat race is here, and that's all we really can take care of, is getting out of what we think we know and our stresses to breathe more, love more, and allow more. And again, I find you can't tell people very much. I can try through a show. It's my show, so I'm allowed to talk, but I don't want to interfere too much. I think people are going to figure out one way or the other on their last breath in life. They're going to get flashed back and they realize they didn't love. They didn't love enough. They could have loved more. How about that? I keep pivoting. But so love is the opportunity for all of us. Good luck twice a month, like a broken clock. Good luck twice a month. We actually remember to love more and to pump the brakes on our reality, our career, our stress, our kids. You don't understand. I got 19 kids, Lily.
right.
I got no
So
time.
in answer to your question,
Yeah.
for the audience and for you, 5 minutes ago, if I were to put a pause on you,
Yes.
your entire being lit up when you described the big picture of 1,000 or 2,000 people, a stage, a door, an angel that you physically had come onto that stage. Your entire being lit up.
That's awesome. And
And
here,
so
I can
that is
add to it.
something
Ask
that
Joy and Charlotte which angel is likely at this point. It'll change by the time we're doing this, but which one's likely to be the guinea pig? And boy, you got to imagine them. They're either drawing straws or they're fighting to do this. You can only have one. Too many of them, and we're all going to get short circuited. Trust me. But which one are they laughing about that might be that? No one's holding anybody to this answer right now, but we might as well get some good humor on air.
be the one that comes human onto your stage?
Yeah. Which one's
Joy.
right now? Who?
Joy.
Joy. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so that's, so it's what's the thing you want to do that you don't talk about, that you've told no one about, that you're afraid to even admit? Oh, I want to write a book. What's about what? ABC. What's the book that you're afraid to write? For you, oh, I
Fantasy
want to be a
football
channeler.
assistance
What
via
kind of
angels.
channeler? What's the kind of channeler that you're embarrassed to say you want? Like, so those are the things that I do where it's never what people say or admit to. And it is always something that is so deep at a core that they've let the minutia in life, and also just the way you're conditioned as you grow, right, into this human costume that the world puts on you, into thinking that you're less than, like, that you can't do that. And why would you even want to do that? Because you've got everything that you want. So for instance, I'm coaching with people that are already accomplished, that have everything that they could ever want. And yet there's something missing.
Yep.
There's something they have not done. There's something that they do not feel. There's something that they have not really, realized that biggest dream from when they were 3 or 30 or 50 or whatever that might be. So that's what it is. So it's like, so it would be like, okay, all right, Mike, let's gather your angels. Let's put this into a strategy and let's start, doing this goal setting from that down to the now. And that's how I help people manifest that. And it's really helping people elicit their own way to actually manifest what it is. But the first step is discovering what you didn't even realize that you really, really want. It's always like, what is that thing you want to do before you die? What is it? What is it you'd like people to remember you as? If this was the last hour you were alive, what would you be remembered as?
Well, my private quiet thing about that big event thing would be if you walk down the middle to come in, you quietly whoosh people with rainbow light to help them not activate, it's such a lingo-y word, but just to lighten up so that they can realize all with a capital A.
Beautiful.
And to do that little whoosh. Now, I've been doing that whoosh through 2 screens and people have been feeling rainbow light, but I'm still a little shy about that. I'd say I've only whooshed, I call it whooshing. You go like this and people feel the energy on the other side and you ask for their permission and you trust that angels are doing all the work. But whooshing the rainbow light is somehow a really big deal. It's me to get over it. I used to have a harder time saying like Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, or even God. To me, when I say God, people can hear God. It's all everything at once, speaking in one voice in a very receptive way. But those type of folks who are going to hear God are going to have to be really loosey-goosey and have been like a Hank Aaron home run hitter. They've just nailed everything. They're confident, and then they're ready to get even a bigger voice. How about that? So it's earth-shattering.
But what would it even matter? I mean, you and I have talked before on my podcast. I've been on your podcast before, and I can openly say creation, creator, God, and that's okay, no matter whose show I'm on, because it really doesn't matter to me how someone perceives that, because they're on their own journey. If they don't want to see God as that one sees God, or I see God, or you see God, or don't see God, none of it really matters. The only thing that matters is how you live your life. The only thing that matters is that you're living in love. And you were talking about love before. It's very simple. It's not logical. It's quantum. It is. It just is. It's not an emotion. It doesn't need an explanation. It's not something we earn, right? It is. In fact, it's something we own, and we forget it because of all of the minutia in life. We forget. The first thing that most of us forget is that we are made up of love, and we forget that we are part of the big picture. We are part of the creation.
We all have dislikes, personality, and so there's certain lingo that'll resonate. It's certain lingo that won't.
Exactly.
There's certain stuff that you're a Jets fan. I always like to use NFL, but not a Chicago Bears fan. Good luck with that. But the point is, there's a famous quote, the Zen quote. The student asks the master, what of my own nature? And the teacher responds, well, what are your dislikes? Tell me my own nature, or the nature of my nature. Well, where are you putting your dislikes? And that's like a shifting sand table. You can smooth it out. Don't put your focus so much on your resistance and focus again on the love.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it's almost like when I'm teaching someone to meditate, let's say with a client, it's like, or if I'm doing a guided meditation with a group of people, it's really all about like, don't expect and don't resist. Just be and just allow. And back to the first things that we talked about, allow, and even with that, like that sand you were talking about, every single granule and piece of sand in this beach of the earth, we're all unique. It's all unique. And that's the beauty of it, though.
I'm going to do something. The pandemic, it didn't occur to me I could show people their energy through 2 screens. I would just have people at the other end look at their hands and see light. But I've got a dark background.
Yeah.
The sky is fantastic. You don't need me. You don't need this. Pretend you just got a diamond ring if you're female, or if you're male, whatever. look up at your hand and allow. And if you're in your heart and you've just come off of a great comedy, hugged your dog again, done a chubby checker, done something that breaks your structure, breathe extra, laugh. There's a million ways into your heart. You'll see your light on your hand. Or it could be anything, your dog or a person's. If you're at a theater, 2 rows ahead, find a victim, do so respectfully. Look at the back of their head. And the more you check out, like a boring professor, exciting professor in a class, your 1 hour class felt like 2 hours or went by in 10 minutes and you wish it could have been longer. It was that good. That's all I'm talking about. Check out, let your heart see the light on the person, but restaurants as well. When you eat for some reason in groups, it breaks down barriers. You're more relaxed. It's a great place to see someone's energy. So I'm going to put this up. I'm going to put 2 fingers together, make a giant pencil. Allow, and you'll see a little filament of light between our fingers. Give yourself permission to let go. Ask angels to be in your heart and to help you see with all of you. You're seeing from your heart. You're doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. And you'll just see like white, gold, green, yellow, clear, a filament of light. Let it be. You get one dad joke. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips. And catch a little filament of light between my fingers. What color are you seeing?
Yeah, I see gold.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then if you want, close your eyes, ask Joy to come in and ask her to help you expand. We can always expand more. We can always grow more. Good luck, 2 lifetimes from now or next week, not now. But that's the point. If we just ask and allow, even the universe can come in and jack us a little bit. Like you could play better tennis. You could go for a longer walk, have more fun. So ask her to bring in a couple more colors and I'll try to breathe and relax too. Exhale like a whale if you're holding back. And what are you seeing now for
green, bright green?
Good.
Yeah.
And so anyone can do that at home. You've got 2 of these. You're perfectly good. Find a
That's
background.
cool.
Blue sky is fantastic. And if you have a loved one and they've done it, you can each be half the glow stick. So, couples will do this. They'll go up at the same time or down. So decide who's going to go up, who's going to go down. Do the opposite. Exactly. And if it's a New York City elevator, they don't go like this. Just go 2 floors up. Don't go like this. And if you want to go crazy after you've owned it, just go a little distance. But you can go, if we grab 2 people who are professional actors and they're just used to letting it fly, they connect, whatever you call this stuff, the force, they can go further out and see their light. You can do all your fingers and see your light. Dr. Evan Alexander, Karen Newell, after they taped episode 35, September 17th, check it out. They're both coming back for solo shows in October, November. They saw their light flowing between them. They spent 40 minutes with angels in the show. But the point of the show isn't to prove anything. It's just, what people want to do when they want to do it. But they saw their light flowing between them and they're a couple. So that was kind of cool. And they were getting along. Very important. You're never going to get fighting people to see their energy. They just don't have the presence. So it's the opposite. It's love. So consciousness is, Joseph Campbell would say, or you can meet Joe, Power of Myth, the Sarah Lawrence professor. Wonderful to meet on the other side. Okay, Lily, talk to us a little bit more about it. Everything's consciousness, everything's love, everything's a full cup of tea overflowing and spilling, but no cleanup required. What do we need to remember and know about how it's actually right here, right now?
Well, I can start with an analogy. Like right now I'm holding a cup of tea. Well, there's nothing in it right now, but let's say it was half full.
It was steaming at the beginning of the show.
It was steaming at the beginning, yeah. So it was half full. This is quite a large mug, yeah. So is the cup half full? Is it half empty? I would put to you that there is no glass.
I'm going to do Spoon Boy out of Matrix and do the same. There is no cup.
There is no
mind
glass.
Focusing on the cup.
So now that's an analogy. But then how do you really actually put that into reality? Like, how do you make that part of your day-to-day functions, how you navigate through in the physical world?
I'm zany in that I'd answer real fast. You have Joy ring your doorbell and come in and brew up a whole nother batch of tea. Have your cup and drink it too.
You could, yes.
Sorry, I know it's have your cake and eat it too. And I use the bakery analogy all the time. You can have your cake, eat it too. No calories, distribute cakes. Every cake equals a smile. But that's
Yeah.
my enthusiasm talking. It's not that easy.
Hmm.
We have to get excited about something. It,
Well, you have to do that's, in fact, let me finish what I was saying, because it does have to do with getting excited about something.
something.
So
What fires
the
you up?
glass half full, half empty. No, there is no glass. And someone might say to me, Lily, okay, yeah, that's a nice little poetic saying, but how am I going to use that in the real world, right? In the world and form? Well, it how are you not going to use that in the world and form? And what I mean by that is when you're going through a transition, a challenge, maybe some suffering from maybe a great loss or disappointment, um, that's where this actually really comes in. That's where this is really critical, because it affords you the opportunity to understand that what you're feeling is exactly that. It's not unimportant. How you feel is significant. However, it affords you the opportunity to understand that it's so much your being here and this life situation, and you in this life situation, whatever you're going through or transitioning through or suffering from or challenged with or disappointed about, it's so much more than that. And that's where this comes into play. When you can look at something, hypothetically speaking, you didn't get that big promotion. Not only did you not get the big promotion, but you were told to pack your desk in a box today, Friday, and now you've got to go home. And how are you going to support your kids
No
and
one
your
after
wife?
35 years at IBM getting laid off says,
Exact like that.
greatest thing that ever happened to me. And you call everybody and said, this is my opportunity for growth. We're always complaining for up to maybe 10 years, holding on.
Right.
This
But
happened to me.
yes, but see, now that's where this comes in,
Yeah.
because why would anyone in their right mind want to learn for 10 years by struggling and learning that after a decade, when what I do is give you the tools now so that you can not suffer for 10 years through something. You can actually go, oh, okay, this is tough. I'm very aware that this is the hardest part of anything I've ever experienced in my life right now. It feels so detrimental right now. But because there's no glass, I can leverage this external life situation that was just dropped in my lap like a happy parachuter that just fell from the sky. Or maybe it was something that was building up to, whatever the situation is, doesn't matter. And leverage that to get me to a place of uncertainty that maybe I can't see it right now. But that uncertainty is what's going to bring me wisdom so that I can expand and grow and become more of and feel and live through that love and light of why I'm here. Make sense?
Yeah. Everything's here to, everything is your opportunity for growth and expansion. It'll grow your foundation. You might not know it today. It might be the death of a friend, the layoff, this, that, health crisis, and so on. But I love what Seneca says. You can meet Seneca. You know, you haven't been given anything that you are not suited to bear in your lifetime. And that's something to take comfort in. It's sort of this too shall
Yeah.
pass mixed with this too shall educate.
You know, I know that's one of the idioms that I myth bust. And I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I say it all the time. I remember actually at one time that making me angry when someone said to me at the most horrific time of my entire life, where someone said to me, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. I thought, what a crock of shit. That is bullshit. And so I myth busted all the time. Yeah, you do get more. There are some of us that get more than we can handle, to the extent that that's why people, they consider things like giving up, you know, either considering, I hate to bring up such a dark subject, but it's reality, suicide, or maybe they commit some kind of homicide. Like they do something that's out of their mind because they are out of their mind because it was too much, right? But what I would put to you is that's where the angels come in, Mike, because I remember texting my now angel Felicia the old fashioned way when texting wasn't so easy. You had to keep going to the little letter to get to every single, it was really, it took you a long time to text with those flip phones and, or Blackberry phone. I think I had, I don't remember, but I remember texting Felicia at the time she was alive. And I said, God has given me more than I can handle right now. And she texted me back in a half a second and said, how can I help? How can I help? 4 words that made my entire state go down and calm. It didn't change my current life situation, but it changed my state. And because it changed my state, it allowed me to become very consciously present so that I could work from a consciously present state to navigate through that situation. And that's where the angels come in, because when you are really in a sense of like dire need, and it could be anything big or small, whatever it is in anyone's life situation, whatever it is, right? Big or small, you can say, okay, I'm seeing a glass right now, but there's no glass. Now let me allow, let me allow what angels, or let me allow God, or let me allow a guide, or whatever that looks like for whatever you're allowing, come in and just change my state and tell me what to do. Does that make sense?
I remember asking a long time ago about homelessness, and the answer was from an angel, what an adventure. So I think there's unlimited opportunity for growth and, again, expansion with everything, but our consciousness level is what holds us back, how we interpret what we think is happening to us.
Of course.
It's completely real. And, it's extremely painful. It's extremely dire. It's extremely this, extremely that. But that's the duality thing. And that's where, again, it's the flavor, it's the contrast. It's why being human is such being like a cork in the Atlantic Ocean. Sometimes it's calm. Other times it's a hurricane category 5 going by, and the cork is submerged 100 feet under water.
Yeah. I want to touch on that a little bit. It's interesting, Michael, because I spoke to a very esoteric, beautiful, giving, loving rabbi. I had him on my podcast twice, yesterday and several months back. And he said something to me that I will never forget. And that is that when spirit incarnates into a human body, into the flesh, he said it's very painful. And I never forgot that. And so fast forward, it made me think of what you just said, because it's quite painful to be living through the view of your spiritual self in this human body, in this external world, with all of the things that go on.
It's incredible to witness all the opportunity and all the inability to slow down and appreciate that opportunity. But what's beautiful is free will is paramount. If people aren't making their decisions and getting their experiences, what are they getting? I think this is Henry James, if you haven't had your life, what have you had? So whether a person this lifetime, next lifetime, draws conclusions, takes action, grows, becomes more conscious, becomes a more loving person. I don't know what the right words would be, but people are getting the experience, whether they know it or not. They're getting as much love as they can handle, whether they know it or not. I would argue that just slowing down, paying attention are the two most critical ingredients to begin the process of going from here to here. And again, it might be 4 lifetimes from now. It's that whole Atlas Shrugged or whatever that was with Tom Hanks, the movie that they kind of slaughtered, but there was the book talking about how many lives do you have to go through before you kind of get with the love program. And again, it can be 2 weeks, it can be 2 hours. Humans are incredibly adept at loving more, allowing more, flowing more. Amazing.
Incredibly adept. In fact,
Yeah.
Humans are not broken. We are a very strong species, if you want to call us a species. We just really forgot, how to be full and whole. We're incredibly resilient. And one of the things that kind of popped into my mind with what you just said is humility is huge. And if we're not walking, of course, if we're not walking in love, of course, but that really does also invite us to really kind of turn the lens inward into ourselves and say, what don't I know? Where am I not loving? How did I not love? And because there's really a great opening and there's a great enlightenment that comes from humility, from really being humble with yourself and with others.
What's been fun for folks lately, just to go light, is folks can put their finger out to an angel through 2 screens, touch that angel's energy and have their finger light up, and then do a little bit of sky drawing. That's been a very fun thing. I'm shifting topics a little bit.
Oh yeah, the
a little
sky
later
drawing.
here. But anybody who just wants to get a hug at home, I'm going to hold Joy's photo up. You can ask a hug to clear out your house, change the vibe around you or within you. No limits, but what will you ask for? What will you allow for is always, I think, the crux in any situation. I think there's a lot of thinking going on in the casino. I've met in my lifetime, whether I've moved 25 to 43 times, depending on how you count it. I feel like I've seen a lot, done a lot, constantly feel like I'm a big blank, like that blank tile in Scrabble. I think that's an okay thing. It doesn't mean you're going to come across very sophisticated, but you stay more open that way. I think there's a lot of thinking and judging going on, a lot of knowing, a lot of systems of thought, a lot of organizations, and they're all going to keep doing what they're doing. It's great. But I like to use the UAP, UFO crowd. The second they want to meet light beings or angels, they can get all their answers, check the boxes, but they can experience versus just seeking through FOIA requests, congressional testimony, chasing after this defense contractor or trying to get this personal video or NASA to do something to confirm whatever. And I think that's great. But the Buddhist crowd, do they want to meet Buddha? Do angel communities want to meet angels? I mean, it depends. We'll all talk about it. We'll do a lot of seeking. It's what it is to be human. These are like eternal questions. And so there aren't necessarily answers. It's why I love Joseph Campbell and what some guests have said on the APL show this year is it's more about the experience of being here. And they don't necessarily subscribe to certain lessons or it's about lesson learning. I do like the part about love and that you learn to trust that big fiber optic cable here, like loving more and allowing more. And
Mm-hmm.
also, like back to the career life path thing, if we use me as a guinea pig, the big part of this is don't worry about the details, let it unfold, be surprised at what comes, like try to pay attention when new opportunities arise. You don't have to say yes to them all. So I have noticed there's a kind of a trajectory, so that's kind of cool. I keep getting assured by angels I'm right where I need to be. I've got some business managers at Charlotte, Archangel Michael, and a Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I mean,
Yeah. I love that, Michael.
if I got all the if I took all 8,000 rejections and focused too much on them, I think I'd probably go insane.
Yeah. And and to your point, it doesn't have to be all crystal clear.
Yeah,
Just that one image like you had when we did use you as the guinea pig, that has to be more clear, but everything, all the details about it
yeah.
doesn't have to be.
And I hear I'm going to Hawaii when I'm older. That'll be the
There you
new
go.
location. I don't know how I'm getting there and
Move
everything
number
else.
44.
Exactly. Here's Archangel Michael.
Love
And
him.
he's got a great way of weighing in on pretty much anything. I mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
angels. They're what are the words? They're still learning from us.
Mm-hmm.
But from like the whole alien, like, do we think we're the only ones alive in the universe? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But they're light. And so they're unconditional love and they're all about our free will and our own learning. And they're
Mm-hmm.
here to support us if you're willing to ask for the help. I think that's a nuance that's really important. Just don't be afraid to ask. You don't have to listen. Just trust one way that when you ask for help, the universe has a way of delivering it, whether you want to pay attention or not, but be
Mm-hmm.
willing to ask. With Michael, can we have you listen to Michael for an additional to follow up on everything we've been talking about?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. You know what's really funny? And when you were saying to be on the lighter side, do- and I think this might be a little helpful for your viewers in like imagining how can I draw in the sky? How can I do that? Do you remember? I know I certainly do. When I was a child, and you'd be looking at the dark, the blackness of the night sky with the twinkling of the stars, and we would take our fingers and just act like we were drawing on the sky and on that blackness of the night. And I recall seeing light following, my finger. And I can even see it now. That's something I can see a lot. And think of it this way. If everything that you're made up of is energy, everything I'm made up of is energy. Everything this pen is made up of is energy. This mic, this cup, the tea that was in it. If everything's made up of energy, energy does create light and sparks. It's like when you were children and you ran your feet with socks on, on the carpeting, and
I
you
did that a
touched
lot and
someone
sapped. Yeah.
and you had that static. It is no different. That is how that's how powerful you are. You are made up of energy. And that was one of the things that, like, when people say, well, how do you do energy healing? Because I'm a Reiki master. Well, it's not me.
I forgot to mention
Everyone
that.
can
For the
do it.
audience, yes, Reiki master as well.
Yeah. Everyone can do it if you tap into first, you're aware that every single molecule is made up of energy. Yeah. So you can write in the sky. You can start to see those lights. So if they were watching us before and they can't see the light, I encourage people keep trying because you are made up of energy.
And you can do that in the shower. The mist is another way to do it. Here's another way to think of it. You don't have to see it on your person or on another person. Your dog, maybe, or a tree. Trees will drop your jaw. You just need to be open. But first thing in the morning, before a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, before you brush your teeth, before you can remember what day of the week it is, before you've started the flood of thoughts that begin the day, just find those recessed pot lights, the kitchen, wherever the lights are, maybe the bathroom, maybe not. But when you're checked out, you're really groggy. you're going to see a fog, a halo, rainbow light around those lights, beach ball sized. But the more your thinking kicks in, you start analyzing, it starts to shrink and shrink and shrink. You're going to appreciate it. It's like watching fireworks. It's beautiful. Just lie on a couch, look up. You're going to be out of it. You're going to want that cup of coffee. But eventually your thinking is going to extinguish it. And you're seeing the light all the time. You're operating that way when you go to the supermarket to buy milk, but there's two people fighting by the milk. It's your inner voice that says, we'll come back. I'll get the milk later. And so you're navigating this way all the time. And the last thing is a real game changer for humanity that will shift everything. So forget anything I've said, forget anything we think is going to happen. If you just started seeing light on everyone, it'd be great for real estate transactions. You'd never enter a bad deal again because you know when you're getting BS'd. And there's people who can read the light or the flow on other people and just know, hey, it's not the person I should go on a date with. It's not the person we should enter a business agreement in. Athletes know how to do the flow,
Totally.
ones. And so there are people using it in limited, but they don't apply it to all quadrants of their life. And I'm just here to remind folks that everything is flow, everything is energy. The more you pay attention, kick me out of the way, get any level of advice at the word level, but beyond words is where it really counts. And if you started to see everybody's light, boy, would be there a lot less. There'd be more paying attention, more slowing down, more listening, less conflict. And a lot of people just wouldn't waste energy anymore on a bunch of stuff that really doesn't matter. But it's going to seem really important and real because we're human. But that's wild. If you could just see, and it'd be really pretty, by the way, most of it would be really pretty. Seeing a bank robber run by who's a bad bank robber, not in need, but just like really bad person, that would not be fun. But everything else about it, it means walking a little bit of a smoother path. So humanity, we love discussing this to no ends, and you see it on Twitter, you see it everywhere else, or X. But the second we start paying attention beyond the words, beyond the structure with flows, boy, is that going to be a little interdimensional. I don't know what to call that. It's going to be a wild, wild ride if we started seeing flows between everybody. It doesn't take a concussion in a football game, flag football, the Thanksgiving touch football get together. You got knocked in the head. Suddenly you're just seeing flows everywhere and you're like the nicest person from now on. But I'm just saying there's something to all that that would dramatically shift our reverence for consciousness, for awareness, for allowing a little more good or kindness in the moment. So
yeah, taking that shift.
Yeah. And there are a few movies that I think are like that without so much the light part of it, but then are absolutely fun. They're always comedies.
Yeah.
Well, Lily, what else would you have to share with us? I'll put up one or two more photos. I'll put up Mac, don't call her Mackenzie. She's about plants, animals, nature, green ball light. And she's wonderful. She's one of the surf instructors. People can go surfing with angels, shut their eyes. Let angels make the waves nice. You just know how to surf. Here's Mac.
Oh, there's Mac.
Yeah, and if you have a favorite sort of a jungle feel or a certain animal, you can just audibly hear that or smell flowers. Let her do her job. You know what you like. Ask for it aloud. Close your eyes on this one if you have to. She's a sweetheart. And that's what's crazy. I don't think we really understand what unconditional love means. It's so big. It truly means just love, support. I mean, I'll spend the next 30 years trying to grasp it. And how much am I living it? I don't know. But I'll do the best I can to slow down when I can.
That's all we can ask.
Yeah. What do you get from Mac for all of us?
I'm not sure if it's because of my atmosphere, like on the outside of my house, I could see I have windows everywhere because there's such a glorious, intense rain right now.
Ooh.
And I could see, like, when it's so intense and the drops are just kind of delightfully bouncing off of the ground. And then you bring in Mac, who's all about nature, and it just really just underscores the reality of it for me, of like that again. And I could tie it into, last words of that. Just look, it's all about the energy that we're feeling, that we're expressing, that we're allowing to to let in, and that we're sending out. And we can't send out any of that beautiful natural energy that even I felt from Mac. We can't even send that out unless we feel it, truly, truly allow and feel it inside of our spirit. And it's really, I just had a conversation with someone about this. It's really also taking responsibility for ourselves to use that powerful energy, the positive energy, so that we can start to begin to even out if we're in a space, or there's a space that we're seeing that is just kind of tipping the scale full of negativity. And really, we can personally, individually make sure that we're leaning into and exuding the positive energy, so that winds up being ultimately what surrounds us. Like I said earlier, not so much, not only what we attract. It's not like, oh, if I put it out, it'll come back. It's more about if I become more light, then that kind of shields you, that puts a shield around your aura, if you will, since we're having this discussion on angels and beings, right? That aura, just keep tapping into the energy of it. Whether you can see it or not, doesn't matter. Just keep tapping into it and it'll become real for you.
Trust you're protected. Let the universe help you out for outcomes, or just bringing new opportunities your way, or for simply slowing down, depending on where you're at. Here's 4 archangels: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. It doesn't matter who's who necessarily. There's 3 more off camera. Go ahead and feel what you can feel. Don't judge. Get what you can get. For anybody out there who's doing this, you can put your hand out. Doesn't matter that you're in Toledo or Canada or Japan. And it doesn't matter if it's 2025 or just 2 weeks after this was taped.
Yeah, join in, everyone.
Yeah, and you can feel sparkle. Some people who are trying too hard won't feel it on their palm. They'll feel it on their toes. It could be their back. There's no one way. Just like in life, there's plenty of people who will take 6 weeks, 6 years, 6 lifetimes for a particular situation. Others in 6 seconds, 6 minutes, 6 days have moved on. And they've really taken it on the chin. It just depends. There's every different type of reaction for every different type of situation. And everyone's at a different vibration. So with these 4 archangels, what are you getting, feeling, seeing? What can you share?
I am getting something, and it's not as specific as maybe people might want, but it is what it is. I'm getting be inspired and hold steadfast to what is true and good.
And that's a whole opening to an entire lifetime of fun.
Yes, no doubt.
Here's an actual fairy named Ginger, high-pitched voice. If you thought Joy the angel, I'll put her up last. She's got even a little bit of rainbow light showing up. I didn't always see that rainbow light on the wings, but this is an actual photo. You can see her as a teenager out in the yard. If you want to pick a spot, Lily, look out that window. Even in the rain, the fairy who's 14 years old will show up, pick one spot, get guided where and how to look. Let her do all the work showing up. But you know, if anyone's resisting, have her just lean out from a tree or around the side of a building or behind a car, only see half of her. You'll see her as, again, a 14-year-old. I'm not going to predict any more than that, but she can put fairy wings on and turn into a ball of light and fly off. That will literally leave you, the brain will short circuit after that. You'll be like, what did I just see? And that's okay too. But if any part of anybody out there is super creative or allowing or sparkly, artistic, whatever, you're a former actress, anything you can tap into to just allow and get out of the rigidity, the structure, the definitions, the societal stuff, that it's this way, it's that way. That's the type of knowing. It's fine. We all operate that way, but this is beyond the source code of our brain. So let her come in and just entertain for a second, pop into your reality. Did you get to see her a little bit?
I've seen her before. We had this conversation, right?
Yes.
I've seen her in Central Park several years ago after we had that discussion. And I saw her, I saw what looked like
Hmm.
could be Ginger across the street, kind of behind you right now, uh, right in front of like my neighbor's. She's got like these little flowers and greenery, right in there.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you got to see Joy, and this is the last one. You can listen to Joy, leave your eyes in one more spot.
Okay.
Anyone who's having difficulty, once 1 out of 100 people, it'll be a pillar of pink light. Great. But if you can just check out of the details and what you think you know in this moment, like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure I can. That's brain.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all brain. We're big brain. Winnie the Pooh
Mm-hmm.
stuff is the best. But how do you spell love? You don't spell it, you feel it. That's just to distract everybody so they get to their heart. Weeds are flowers are too. Every moment is awesome. Just allow for it. Let her do her job. Pick one spot, leave your eyes, where a human being could be standing. At Omega Institute last year, multiple people got to see her. I always describe her as a blonde, jean jacket, upscale dress underneath. Of course, at Omega, people saw her as a brunette. What are you going to do? Fire me. Exactly.
That's
But
funny.
let her do her job. I'm going to guilt all the good Americans out there. We need some guilt. Get out of your own way. Get out. Anything from the neck up, I say ditch it. And can you really ditch it? No. But maybe once a month, yes.
Mm.
So let her do her job. It's going to short circuit what you know. You can do this in your room. She could come knock on your door and be full on human and have a cup of tea. I think I've only had 1 or 2 people go that loosey goosey. One is India trained. She got to walk with angels in human form, Sai Baba, some other figures. Incredible.
Mm.
But the real challenge is, what will you allow for? Letting go. We're all focused on the details, what we think are the physical. If you pulled out a book, a checklist, and a legal pad and said, well, what is the person going through? There's going to be a lot of details. Some people are 50 pages of details, and it's this, and I've got credit card statements, and I've got a medical history, and I've got this situation in this country, and this conflict, and this person, and this workplace. But in a way, I'm trying to emphasize the other, which is beyond all the form and the structure. And it gets crazy. And that's where, kick me out of the way again. I don't know anything, but angels know your situation. And they also know how to reach you. So forget all the languages and all the dialects in the world. They know how to speak in a way that'll resonate to reach you, no matter how in the hole you are, or how on top of life you are, or everything in between, because it's ebb and flow. But they know how to say everything just right. So the sooner you get listening, or at least slowing down and paying attention, the sooner a lot more can happen. It's like stepping up to the plate in life. They always talk about that. Take a swing. If you're not up there taking a swing, what are you doing? So I don't know. Maybe the plate is the heart. Baseball bat is your focus. I don't know what the baseball is. I'm running out of the metaphor here, but you get the idea. Did you get a chance to feel, see, hear Joy just a little bit?
I didn't see.
You can make a fist, and when you hear ready, you can look down and see a little bit of pink light, but keep it lower so it's further away from you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Anybody at home, make a fist, keep it off camera. And when you hear ready, look down, see a little bit of pink light, bring it into your heart, get a hug. It might be a little sparkle. Part of your brain, if you're, some folks can feel the energy, they quote, can't see it. That takes longer to help them let go. And let her just do her job. She'll show up any which way. You can make the blanket request through the weekend. I'd love for you to catch me off guard when my ego isn't around, because your ego attaches no importance. I'm going to mention this one. This is, I think, a good one. How seriously can you take this in a non-serious way? You are on the whole way as you walk around your day. When you flip that light switch, you don't attach any importance to it, so your ego is not involved. It's like, I can let me flip the light switch and have it easy. I don't analyze the light switch. I don't spend the last 2 weeks telling Lily, I'm not sure 2 Tuesdays ago in September, 4 Tuesdays ago, did I flip it right? I'm agonizing over this. I've lost 6 nights of sleep over this. I don't know what to do. It's ruined my showers, my runs. I've stopped running. I walk home. I'm depressed. But no, like a Olympic champion, you flip the light switch and maybe cook the meal,
Mm,
maybe tapped your dog on the head and done that ear scratch just the right way. I'm not kidding that those are the most important moments in life. The more you slow into some Zen Buddhist master or just painter, or you know it from whatever you do where you actually do take a breath. Most of us, I'm going to quote Mother Teresa. Nothing that I'm saying, by the way, is me. It's angels over 12 years. Mother Teresa said, taking a deep breath, compassion for many is like taking a deep breath. That's as close as we're going to come to pumping the brakes and slowing up. If I was in New York City and you saw me walking fast, I was measuring those those lights that say walk, do not walk. I timed those from a block away when I was escorting people so we could shave minutes going from one building to Fortune magazine just to escort my group along. I would
mm,
try to time the pedestrian light timing. Oy vey. What we
imagine.
do.
Yeah, oy vey is right.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the rat race, and I was full participant, and I had a lot of fun. I was making people, bringing joy, I should say, not making people do anything, but by doing an interview and having them get creative and fun and
Mm,
some excitement there, a
well,
journalist and an expert and making magic happen or music happen.
that's your thing.
It was, yes. And now today I do the same matchmaking, but now it's invisible,
Right.
non-existing people with perfectly fine human beings. I'm kidding on
Mm,
that. So, but I do a lot of matchmaking now. Lily, tell us last thing. People want to reach you. It's lilysanders.live or
mhm,
live, depending on which way you want to do the metaphor.
exactly.
So Lily, Lily, Sanders, Sanders. I think I got that right. Live. That's your website. Everything's there.
That's
But give us the
correct.
last college pitch on um, do you do 20? Some people do 20-minute consulting. Others are like, no, you got to go ahead and book the session. Or how do you do your thing?
When I speak in colleges, or you mean when I
If
coach
people want to
people?
engage with you,
Oh, yeah. So if people want to engage with me, yeah. So look, if you're that person that, like most of us, that there's just something missing. There's everything's doing pretty good in your life and everything even is maybe great, but there's just something missing and you can't put your finger on it, you know? Uh, Reach out to me. Go on my website, lilysanders.live. You can basically go on any page, you navigate through my menu, of course, but go right on to how I helped. You can just contact me that way and we'll have a conversation. Uh, One thing I will promise you, whether you decide to work with me or not, what I can promise you is one of the most powerful, memorable conversations that you will ever have. And so, yeah, I encourage people to do that. It doesn't cost you a dime to reach out. It won't cost you a dime to have the conversation. It'll just cost you committing to the schedule to have the call. And I encourage you to do that. It'd be absolutely um, out of service for me and to you. And the other thing is, um, sometimes if you could remember when you were a child, we can all remember those jigsaw puzzles. And I'm thinking about it now because it's a rainy day right now. And, maybe you got a jigsaw puzzle when you were a child. And if you remember getting that box and you look on the box and there's this beautiful picture and you open up that box and you're like, oh my goodness, how am I, how am I ever going to get that beautiful picture out of 1,000 of these little puzzle pieces all mixed up, right? Well,
it could be worse than that, Lily.
hang
It
on,
could
let me
shut the
finish.
lights off in the room.
Let me finish. Imagine if you had that box with all the puzzle pieces and no picture.
Mm.
And believe it or not, that's how most people come to me. They don't really, they're going about what they think they want, but they're not even looking at a picture. And that's why you're not getting it, because you
That's what I was
don't.
getting just now, is that it's even in the darkness so that they don't even you hand them the flashlight and get them started on sorting this out in a fun, well, in a constructive, I say fun because I'm an enthusiastic guy, but in a constructive moving forward sort of way. How about that? I like the
Well,
handing the flashlight to people metaphor.
I don't necessarily hand them the flashlight. What I do is I give them the paintbrush to paint the picture so that they're not putting all the puzzle pieces together without an end point.
Yep.
Understand? Make sense? Yeah. So that's what I do, you guys. So lilysanders.live, one powerful conversation, and it's not going to be a half hour. I'm going to tell you right now. If I'm going to serve you, I'm going to serve you powerfully. So we're going to book some time together, and I look forward to meeting everyone. Thank
And
you,
I'm going to blow
Michael.
sage a final time. And I'm
Thank
going
you
to
so
do
much.
this. For anybody who wants to see extra light around the lighter, that's just a regular lighter and a blue, white, gold, pick another color, orange flame. But now ask, you don't need to have Joy's photo up. You don't have to believe in angels or any one particular way of rolling. You do have to have your intent, though. Ask for a little bit extra light around this flame before I use it to light this. So ask for a little bit of pink light, purple, let your guardian angel come through, your loved one. You just lost somebody 2 years ago. Let them do their thing. It's getting out of your own way to be really opening openness. You're capable of it here. Good luck with that.
Intention.
Ask for some extra light. Some people see sparkle all over this light. Lily, are you getting anything extra? And I was going to get you one quick thing. If you saw extra, let us know.
Yes, I did.
Beautiful. And then if you could get a compliment from Joy or 2 or 3, if there's one you can share out loud, this is putting you on the spot, so don't do it. But if Joy's got one, like, no, she should own this. Here's the compliment. It would be a t-shirt she should wear half every other day. What's your compliment? If you can share it out loud. If not, people at home, get your compliment. It's the last thing. What, we waited to the end of the show to get a compliment. Why? Get a compliment now. Self-love, love. There's more love in the universe. Ask for more love. Get more love. Maybe it's a bird just landing on your windowsill. I had a roadrunner in the middle of the show come up on my windowsill. I'm in Texas, a big roadrunner, and I actually paused, took a photo, and injected. I don't know which episode, but I put it into the talk because I was flabbergasted that a roadrunner landed on my window. But the universe will respond. Be in like receiving mode, and none of us want to do that. We know too much. So get a little more love. Lily, did you at least get a compliment? You don't have to share it out loud.
I did get a compliment.
Oh, can you share it out loud?
It was also similar to, who did you show me before?
Mac?
Dull Knife? No, one of the
Chiefs, red shirt.
who's the one with the stripes on his cheeks?
No.
No, the one with the mashed in face.
Okay, this one?
Nope, one more. The little guy, the one with he's a little feisty face. Yeah, him. Geronimo. Yeah, very, very similar. Interesting. Because Geronimo said silly Lily. So what I just heard right now, what I just felt was silly, seriously silly.
Oof.
So I guess that's my compliment. And, you know, one of the things that Geronimo said to me earlier, which I did write down, was, which I will share, avoid hidden roadblocks. Yeah. So that was my message through that I got through this time together, which was pretty cool. So bring on the sage.
I really like that. Yeah, I know I'm gonna light this. Okay, so I'm just lighting sage, and it's on my website. I'm not sponsored or affiliated, but it's Juniper Ridge. I like them because they're consistent. They used to be, maybe still are, at all the Whole Foods, and if you're in America, they used to be
that's $2. What I grow.
Yeah, it used to be $2 a bundle. It's a California company, and I think they're up to like $14, $18 a bundle. Some healers go through a whole sage bundle in like a day. I use my bundle over the course of a whole year, and I think that's a metaphor for humanity and each individual, how they're living their life. And it could be a good thing to burn through your bundle in a day, or it could be a good thing to stretch it out over a year. I don't know. I don't have any answers. Sage for everyone. Catch some flowers, beach scent, catch a perfume yet to be invented. If you're talking to Audrey Hepburn, have her bring you sage plus that perfume and get rocked out.
Love that.
And Lily, which combo are you getting? Just a little bit of campfire smoke? Are you getting sage, flowers, all the above?
Sage and like a cotton candy?
And if you want to close your eyes, I'm going to blow through the microphone. My microphone is up here to the right. So close your eyes. I'm going to blow this and catch a little extra wind on your face. It's really the chiefs and angels and your relatives and your crew, not me blowing, but just, it's the thing people do. Catch a little on your nose, a little sparkle, a little zip. If anybody wants to hear an eagle cry in the distance or something kind of like that, you could hear a lion, the tiger on the wall from India, the divine mother tiger action. You can hear him roar anytime you want. Very divinity, like, I don't know what to call it. The divine tiger with the divine mother. You got to be into the India stuff there, but you don't have to be. So you got something. You're
I
good.
did.
Very good. Lily, this has been a treat to have you on. I always love interacting with you. I love being on your show before. I loved having you on the show. People can go to the website, click to the APL show and go back, hear her origin story, check her out. Her details are there. Her details will be under this video itself in all the fine print. Lily, thank you very much from New York being on the show today on the APL Spotlight Series. Only our second time doing this. But where we do, again, a deeper dive and do a little bit more interacting with angels and so on. So thank you for your patience.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Lily.
Bye.